Welcome to the Foundation for Elevation Station. And this one right here, this one is called Historical Salad. Yes. My name is Leon Meredith. And I plan to talk about what makes up on the history that many of us hold in our mind as we live this thing called life. Many things we believe are wholeheartedly not true. But so many of us want to hold on to different things to give us the illusion of leverage and power. I believe that everything that we believe is, I would define as historical salad, because so much is not true. Even things that we see today in our community, on the news, and we readily know in our spirit the truth, and we see or hear our friends, family, TV, music, media saying something to try to guide us to a place of deception. It's like they're trying to form our thoughts upon which they can deceive you with. It's like really, man? Like, you really trying to make me believe that? And it gets to a point where it's like what they call it. It's like a double entendre type of lie. It's like they support each other. Y'all have studied a lot of things in my life. And I'll say this at the end too, if I remember. But I want to say it now. The way that I study, I never studied anything and thought, man, this is the truth. Nothing. Not the Quran, no religious books, nothing. News, movies. I always took it from one stance. I studied, I read, and I made it part of me. So I put the knowledge in and allowed it to combine with the other knowledges that I have. And my mind and my spirit would formulate a new truth or a new baseline. I guess that's the best way I can explain it. I have read so much, so many ebooks, so many books. I've read books that some men had that they didn't allow me to turn the page. They had me come, ask them to turn a page. So sometimes I was reading these few books that this guy had, and it was like an hour and a half sessions. Because, he said somebody ripped his page. So he's like, "Won't you be careful?" And no matter how I showed him I could do it on the other books, he just wanted to be the one responsible for flipping that page. So that's what I did. I studied a lot of stuff. And a lot of the titles to the books I can't even remember. But I know one thing, that throughout the course of my life, my spirit and my knowledge, my understanding always generates an updated version of my truth. And it will do the same for your children. We should never teach anyone to accept something as the unadulterated truth. Why? Why, you might ask? Because it limits you. It puts you in a place of limiting, and for the unwise, a person can study this book, might be a good book, study this book and try to provocate these, this deception, this falsehood, as though it's just the unadulterated truth to others. And so it puts you in a position to one day figure out passing along some crap. Like, man, I'm part of the, man, this is not the good. This is the evil, making it seem like it's good. And oh man, the truth is the truth. You know, and then you have many people that study parts of histories to point the finger, to do blame. When blame does so much to the soul of the person that blames. It's very important not to blame another. When you blame, it has an effect of depression on the person. Google it up, it'll tell you. Especially when you have serious blame that's come from the core of your spirit, and you just want to say all the facts about how someone wronged you, you trap yourself into anger and bouts of depression. You actually change the chemical makeup that's being released into your bloodstream, kind of like killing an animal under harsh stress. And when we kill it, all that bad toxins is in the blood. Well, that's part of what we do when we live in these harsh actions of blaming. Straight up. Some people use the gathering of their false knowledge, and they thinking like Black History Month just passed. When we have the gathering of so-called knowledge to use to support certain things. And it's something, great misconceptions that we always say. Like, we say, oh, we used to live a long time. That a lot of people of color, I don't like Black or African American, but sometimes I use it to connect. They say that when the people of Africa, which was supposedly us, was living in Africa, we were living so long. And I hear a lot of the stories, but when I really, really research from the past few hundred years, like 1400, 1300, the people of Africa, their life expectancy was at best at those times from 35 to 40 years old. I'm gonna let that sink in. Like, literally. Our life expectancy was from 35 to 40 years old. Tops. For many hundreds of years, the last 400 or 500 years. We could say in biblical time, people lived this long and that long. I mean, from the identifiable past that we really can identify as true. That's what it was. So how good have we could have been eating? Like, literally, think about it. People find any way to talk. Like, we want to say different, blaming how society is, making men dress like boys. Dress like women, and it's emasculation of men. Or it's their agenda to get men and wear dresses. Like, have you not studied history? One of the greatest African queens, the one that fought the British and the Portuguese merchants, she made them back up. She had a tribe of 200,000 people. They the only tribe at that time that made the merchants and the British from taking, or in hiring the Mbagala tribe. The Mbagala tribe didn't even want to mess with Queen Nzinga tribe. Nzinga. And guess what? She had a harem of men. A harem means that she had 60 to 70 men at all times that she encouraged to battle to the death. And when she wanted to have sex with one, they would battle to the death in the tournament, and the one survivor of the one she chose to battle, he would have one night of intimacy with her. Also, she had all the men dressed as females. Like they had on female dresses, skirts, and she encouraged them to, hit each other. We on Instaface and all that. Go down in there. It's true. So if they just try to do it to us, why was this African queen, probably our most greatest African queen that we don't talk about, had her harem of men dressing like women and had them, doing things with each other? But we just gonna blame it on somebody, right? We have all the other stuff in our educational system that's miseducation. Christopher Columbus and on down the line. We know most of that, like the majority of the things that our children is being taught in public school systems is a load of crap. We know it's not building onto them. We know that they're being programmed with a certain understanding of the history that they're taught to know, to be programmed by, so that they can always feel inferior and know the script that they must follow. It doesn't stop there. It's all over our society. So many things in our society are just as big and in the same ilk as Santa Claus. We have people that have been studying big, like good books and stuff, and it's just the same as studying Santa Claus, and we like, man, he real. So we got 40, 50-year-old people that have been studying and believing in Santa. It's only one Santa Claus, one. I don't know who yours is, but my Santa Claus is real. And it's like, okay, I love you, and I want to wait till a time to, enlighten you. But I know a lot of the people that have been believing in Santa know now that it's just a little different than what they have been taught or led to believe. That it is so many motives behind this programming that is. When do we break the programming? How do we break the programming? See, what we must do at this point is solutions. And solution is practice. We must practice the things that we are building that will fortify cultural foundations to the generational curses and lies we are suffering from. See, the truth comes out. We can say, oh yeah, we knew that was fake. But when do we start living our life in the manner that supports life? Because right now we still live in death styles. And yeah, I even mean religious folks. I see all type of stuff around the nation, and I implore everyone to do what's necessary to be healthy. This is the first step. We gotta fuel ourselves. I'm telling you, I see some people with high up in these, religious and knowledgeable people, and it's like they bodies is broken down. And I know for a fact how like the body works, the brain, the organs, the functionality of the body. And I ain't saying you look like this or you can't even function like that. How could you know anything? No. What I'm saying is that we understand now Even though many of us have fell down the traps of unhealthiness, of dating inappropriately, of using bad or non-loving vibrations to come from our mouth, doesn't mean that we can't be against it. We have to be against it and voice our differences in the behavior we have been exuding in the past. And we live on a different plane now. The plane is, I understand that I have been, making too many romantic trips to the refrigerator, and my gut is hanging everywhere, and my body cannot function. I have sinned against my higher self, and I do not want my community to suffer the same generational curse. Why is it we so afraid to have any level of accountability? I swear, anything that people want to put on me in the future, I can swallow it. I'll be accountable for whatever, lies, truth, whatever. It's been that way my whole life anyway. I used to just ignore it. Maybe that's what I do now, but maybe it might be some situations where I'm supposed to be, have such a good friend, and I sit down and talk about whatever. I don't know. But whatever it is just true. I mean, I believe in me, and I'm making it past my addictions. Because a lot of it is just addiction. Whatever it is. Jewelry, food, sex, drugs. I want to love you so much. Let's practice solutions. That's the only remedy. Because all these other so-called have fun and all this, it's just a glorified deception. I love you from the foundation of Elevation Station. I guess that's my whole mantra. Let's build a foundation to elevate from. It don't get no more simplified than that.